But I think we'll move on from the Edmonton Oilers and get to a team that I am so happy to announce for Adamo remotely because I got statistics for the first time in a while to pull up. I dig for these statistics. They're not just the regular ones you see on stat lines, my friends. They are ones that you have to look into and maybe analyze. And I want to ask you guys this. How do you analyze, and you know this way more than I do, Adamo, Jared, I know you're pretty big in the stat game as well. How do you, what stat word to show toughness for a team, physicality for a team?
That's interesting.
It's all perspective. That's why I ask you, because I have different perspectives. I got into a pretty big one with my editor when I wrote a story about the Rangers about perspective. What does toughness mean to you? And how does that translate in statistical realm?
I don't think you can quantify. I think you can quantify it, but I think you'd have to get creative with it because I don't think hits are a good way of putting it because hits imply.
I can't wait for this.
Hits imply that you do not have the puck.
Yep. So story of my ESHL career.
Even when we're playing ESHL, I was going to bring it up and Matt, shut up, Matt. And he's trying to chirp me, I have 13 hits. Well, I had the puck. So that's why I don't think when people say, oh, you need hits. I want 30 hits from the Leafs tonight. That's how they're going to win this game. No, I want 10 hits from the Leafs tonight. Well, not 10. 10's a little too little. I want 20 hits and I want 70% time of possession. So in terms of quantifying toughness, I'd probably say probably board battles, probably puck retrievals. That's probably a big one, like forechecking stats. Maybe net front goals too tend to show toughness because that's not a good area to score. And William Nylander consistently leads the league in that. So yeah, what I'm curious to what you have to say, Mario.
No, so I mean, I attribute toughness to from a basic guy. I'm new to the stat game, so I'm learning as we go. You're doing a pretty good job of teaching me what toughness really means. But off the bat, what toughness means to me was hits per game. And the reason why I say this, obviously they don't have as much possession, but I looked at the leap that the New York Rangers took from last season to this. And toughness, if you remember that game, 6-3 loss, May 3rd, 2021 against the Washington Capitals, where Panarin got absolutely ragdolled in the corner trying to help his idle teammate, Pavel Buchnevich. I hate it. I'm a very Tom Wilson hater. Don't like him at all. And that was at the forefront of discussion. But they were getting criticized, and a lot of guys got fired for it. Different culture in the room, not a tough culture whatsoever. Very passive. The fan base thought they were soft. So I looked at the stats. I did some digging a little bit. Their hits per game last season, I have it right here. They ranked 16th in the NHL on hits per game with, I will give it to you, 21.84 hits per game. So take that as you will. This season, I thought they got a lot tougher. They brought in guys like Ryan Reeves, Barclay Goodrow, who you might not think is a tough guy, but if you look at his size, his stature, his frame, and what he's been doing, you've been bringing in a lot of hits this way. And this is what I have to say. So this year they rank, do you want to take a guess at where they rank?
In hits?
Yep.
4th.
Very close. They rank 7th in the league in hits per game with 26.03. That's a big boost, at least for in my opinion. So that's kind of why I'm saying this team got a lot more tougher than last season. I don't know if it's a valid argument with statistics. You could probably be the judge of that. But for a guy who's getting his feet wet with it, am I pleading a case? I think if I would make it a bit better if I looked at the time of possession and I saw that if those how those results changed. I don't know.
I'll stat you back.
Do it, please.
Do you want? Okay, so leading the league in hits right now, hits per game, with 28.48 hits per game. Do you want to guess who that is?
Tampa Bay Lightning?
No.
Brady Tkachuk.
Is it a player or is it a team?
Team. 28 hits per game. Just want to keep guessing. Have you two guesses?
Montreal?
Nope.
Vegas.
Nope. They're actually dead last. The Ottawa Senators. Do you want to guess where the Ottawa Senators are in the standings?
I believe 31st.
Third last, 30th place.
Got it.
Okay.
Oh,
outlier.
That's a slap in the face to me.
Outlier, maybe.
I'll take the kick in the pants.
Do you want who's in second?
In hits per game?
Yeah.
Montreal.
The Islanders.
Yeah. So that is a slap in the face to Mario's argument.
No. It gets brighter because third is Boston, who has been mediocre. Fourth is Tampa.
This is where my argument sort of started to come a little bit into play.
Fifth is Pittsburgh. sixth is like you said. Sixth is Florida, then seventh Rangers, and eighth Montreal, then the Kraken. So what I'm trying to get at here, I'm kind of naming random teams. There's no correlation to winning. I think hitting is a good thing. I think getting more hits is good, but I don't think getting more hits is the end all be all, nor is it the way to win games.
No.
You should not go into an off season thinking we need to get more hits because that's going to translate to more wins, because that's flawed. We need to get tougher to win more games. That's where you have an argument.
That's where I'm trying to make. And I think I'm not saying that the reason why the Rangers are winning is because they're hitting. That's not it. I was going to get to my next point.
Okay.
This is the even bigger one. I thought toughness was something that they had to get done last offseason. I thought they did that with the players they added. And I think they're reaping a bit of the rewards right now. And toughness definitely plays a factor, and at least in some sort of a way where that they're winning. It's definitely a small one, but it's not the big one. The big one, I think it is hard to argue and pass up on the goaltending that they are getting. We saw as Leaf fans, if you remember that game, it was actually our first episode we published on YouTube titled Vezina. Do you know who was on the cover of that episode?
Mr. Igor Shesterkin.
Mr. Igor Shesterkin. This man is, if you want to, I don't know what metaphor you want to use, but he is ridiculous.
He's hot.
He is. I don't know if he's just hot, man. He's
good.
He's good. He's the real
yes.
deal. I would put him right now in top 3 Vezina voting, because he is. I don't even know if that's a bold prediction, because look, I'll read you the numbers.
No, I think that's
15-4-2 record, 209 goals against average, 936 save percentage. You want to put this into context, and this is the reason why I was a little skeptical on the New York Rangers. Their backup situation combined for 7 wins, 3 losses, and 2 overtime losses on the year. They picked up 4 of those wins against the Arizona Coyotes and the Montreal Canadiens. So how big? This is the big question. I worked my way up to it. Big question. Is this team a legit contender, or are they just smoke in mirrors? Is it just a mere flash in a pan, hot streak? Is this all we're going to see? Because they got a lot of things that they got to deal with on their own. Playoff success has not been up the Rangers' avenue, so to speak. They haven't made it past the second round since 2015. I think they lost to the Canadian. I don't know who it is. They lost to a team, will remain unnamed, but they have a lack of playoff success in their franchise history as of late. So they have things that they need to change. And is this guy going to get them to the promised land, or is it just a hot streak and this team has nothing else but goaltending? Damo, I'll start with you. Jared, I'll go over back to you.
I'm a little conflicted because I like the team. I like some of the players on it, but at the same time I don't, because I think we were in the car together when I put out a take saying Mika Zibanejad is the most overrated hockey player in the NHL.
And why is that?
I still stand by that. This guy is a power play merchant, and he is inconsistent as fuck. He's like the uncle's version of William Nylander times like a million. He'll score he'll have a 4-goal game. I'm willing to bet Mika, because he had a hat trick a couple nights ago, by the way. I'm willing to bet Mika has like another 5-goal game, and then later, guys, see ya. So, like, that's your second line center too. He's probably your second best forward, I think. Yeah,
he's in the first line. He's there.
Yeah, he's one of your guys. Yeah. In terms of being a legit contender, maybe. Like I do like your argument. Actually, did kind of they brought in some toughness. They brought in Reeves. They brought in Goudreau, who's been there. Shesterkin is legit. I'd like to think. I don't like when a goalie carries a team, because I don't think goalies can carry teams to cups. I think goalies can carry teams deep, but they can't carry them to cups. So you need that depth, which I think if Lafreniere, Capo Caco can somehow turn into very good players, you're looking at like a legit team. And totally forgot to mention Adam Fox is having a Norris caliber season.
Point per game still this year.
Ridiculous. He's one guy I was so wrong about, and
a lot of people.
I still thought he'd be fantastic. Like, the guy won the Norris for a reason. I didn't think he'd be point a game again, which I am very wrong about. So credit to him.
I'll throw it over to you before I give a little bit more thoughts on what's behind Igor Shesterkin and the New York Rangers.
Personally, I don't think this year's the year. I'm just going to go and say that just by looking at their lineup, as much as they're having amazing regular season success, they look, in my opinion, like a team that is going to have a hot regular season because their stars are all contributing. But as soon as in a playoff matchup, which they're likely going to get a tough matchup considering they're in the Metro, I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to take on one of the bigger, tougher, more proven teams that they're likely going to have to go up against. So it's not really a knock or a criticism on them. I just don't think they're quite ready for it yet. However, the pieces are definitely there. The future's definitely bright in New York. And I think if they keep things up, if they can get guys like Lafreniere starting to play like the player he was expected to be, which is actually recently, at least I've seen he's had a couple highlights. He's been picking it up a little bit. Same with Capo Caco, had a lot of high expectations and hasn't quite lived up to them yet. So I think they have a lot still to prove, and for me to stamp them with they're a contender mark. However, I think the pieces are there. They, in a few years' time, could be a very dangerous team that absolutely has a chance at winning a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Adamo, I think you were saying the same thing where this team, not yet's in a contender, but were you saying that they're getting carried by Shesterkin, or is it, I just want to make sure I'm clear on what you're trying to say as well.
I'm honestly, do we have a 10-minute thing? I'm honestly not 100% sure. I don't think they're getting carried by Shesterkin, but he's definitely a big factor to their success, which is fine. As long as you're not getting hard carried by him, which I don't think they're getting carried.
It's borderline though. It's a little closer than you like.
You can make that argument for Jack Campbell carrying the Leafs defense too.
Okay.
Which I don't know if we're ready to go there yet, because I don't think he's carrying them, but I think you have a Vezina caliber goalie, ride him, right? You're not going to tell him, hey man, start being mediocre just so we can prove we're a good team. No, he's a fantastic goalie. You're scoring with him. Like I don't think their numbers are inflated in any sense. I think he's just having a great season and it's giving them results.
100%. And I mean, the only reason why I don't think they're contenders yet, I'm not going to label them as that as such, is just because of the offense. Like you mentioned, Zibanejad being the definition of a hot and cold player. Jared, you mentioned it with the young forwards. I'm going to get into it a little bit more and bring up the final probably bit of statistics that I have. I dig even more digging. Hey. And yeah, so over the last 3 games, Lafreniere has 3 points in as many games. So he has 27% of his current point total in those 3 games. Capo Caco had a 2-week hot streak in mid-November that accounted for 73% of his current point total right now. So if that doesn't define the definition of a hot and cold offense, I don't know what does, because these guys, I'm not going to say I think, I hope Rangers fans, you better hope, because you have back-to-back first round picks that have the capabilities, have this tool set and the mindset to be great players, but still, I have not seen any positive signs yet. I know they're turning a corner a little bit, but a 3-game sample size is not going to make me believe that this team, I'm not going to quickly label them as contenders, because there's got to be a lot more substance involved when you're labeling the New York Rangers. Igor Shesterkin's terrific. I'm a huge fan of him. He makes me yell at my screen all the time when they face the Leafs. I'm sure you guys are on the same boat. And I think that's not that all they got, but he's playing a greater role than Rangers fans would like to see. And I don't think this is going to be, I think it's going to be sustainable for himself, but for this team and getting wins and playoff wins with Shesterkin on the back end, putting up these performances, I don't think so. I think we're on the same page there. I think that's all I really want to say on the New York Rangers. My big question, I wrote a huge article. If you want to check it out, it's going to be on, I just joined this new sort of student-run newspaper for Ryerson, Over the Line Sports. You basically just walk in there and write whatever you want. It's pretty chill. And me and my editor we had a good discussion today about, he kind of critiqued a lot of things in my paper, which a lot of them were granted, and other ones we didn't see on the right foot. But no, if you want to check it out, it'll be out probably in the next 24 hours. Definitely check it out. You can see these statistics live and you can read them live and you can see my arguments put into words. So go ahead, check it out. I'll give a little bit of a plug there. But no, that's all I think we should say on the New York Rangers. Again, terrific talents there. Just got to maybe string it together a little bit more. They're a hot team right now. I still think they're smoke and mirrors, not legit contenders just yet.